Okay guys, we're back at you. 1 year review update, or close to 1 year. I don't know exact. 3/8 husky torque wrench. There's the number, serial number, whatever that is. It's on a shiny surface, so it's kind of hard to. Here, let's see if we can do this. There we go. There's the number, guys. Okay. I think I'm the only one doing reviews on this particular torque wrench. A lot of you guys didn't like that this was upside down. I'm not going to apologize for it because personally, like I said, we don't edit videos, we just do what we do. But this one I'm going to hold the camera instead of having it on the tripod and inverted, and we're going to get it done where it's right side. I have you on the zoom out, so let's see. There, let's do this. This is better. I just don't like that you can't really see the whole thing. So we'll power this up. You hold it down, beeps at you. We're at 44 pounds per square foot, which tells me the last thing we used this on was the flywheel to my K3500 when we rebuilt the motor and torqued the flywheel. And I think also we torqued at 44 pounds was the bell housing bolts to the transmission. Anyway, or we could have had the cover off and been torquing with it, whatnot. But so what we got is we got our engine stand here. I'm gonna go into this. So here's how this works. You have your digital reading, you hit your power, you can obviously hit clear. There's a power and a clear, and then you have unit. So unit changes to pounds an inch. I think that's kilograms something, kilograms, meters, nuke meters, which is common. So nuke meters and pounds per foot, pounds per inch. You got kilograms per centimeter, kilograms per meter, which is per foot per inch, but in metric. Then you have nuke meters, which is common, and I believe nuke meters is used on aircraft a lot. But here's what we use. We use pounds per foot a lot. You hit set like this, and then you can dial it up or down per point, which is nice. You hit set again, it saves it, and then you have like different settings here. I'm not exactly sure what this is about yet. I haven't really messed with it a lot. I just go straight after my maybe that's an automatic set. Let's see. It's saying like that, so let's see what happens. Why not? Okay. Seems kind of. It's not doing. Let's turn it off. We'll turn it back on. Pounds per foot, 44. So this is how it works, guys. I'm going to show you how this thing works anyways on what we would normally use. So you're here, you're hooking on. I think this is a 21 I'm using. And you got your pounds per foot. You start pulling. Once you get to that, I don't know what this is going to be. This isn't going to be tight enough. Let's see if another one of these is tighter. Okay, so, and as you're going, this isn't going to do the 40. We're going to find another bolt, guys. Excuse me for that. Let's try this guy. Is it the same size? No. Okay, so that's not a good example. Let's see if we can find another socket. I don't want to turn you off because I'm trying to edit and show you guys the real deal here. Okay, so here we go. We found a lug that I think this fits, even though I thought lugs are 19s. And so when you're going here and you're pulling, what's going to happen is it's going to do this. Okay, so what this will do is, what that was doing, you guys, is it gives you basically right here on this display is it'll beep at you when you get to the point. It'll vibrate the handle in your hand here like a phone. And the display screen goes from blue to green to red, indicating when you're below torque, on the torque, and you're pushing past the torque. So these wrenches, like this one, I don't even use this unless I'm rebuilding a car and I'm swapping out a motor and a tranny and I'm doing like really high technical stuff here. You know, other than that, I use a regular torque. I mean, I could have just got a 3/8 torque that's easy, but this is the first one I bought, and I wanted it to be able to do, like I showed you here, I wanted the, you know, pounds per inch mainly, and I wanted the Newton meters and the pounds per foot. Now, I'm going to show you, there was a question if this will save your previous setting. Here we go, we turned it off, turned it on, 44 pounds per foot, saved it. If you leave this set and don't touch it for, it's like 10 seconds, this will shut off on its own. And the only thing I can't tell you is what this M measurement button is. I don't understand that yet. I haven't really gotten into the details on that, because as far as what I'm doing, I'm not thinking I'm gonna need that. But I do like the units. You can go pounds per inch, pounds per foot, Newton meters. It's a nice thing to be able to do if, say, you only want to buy one torque. Now, the downside is, as nice as this is for a digital, is of course it's a cheaper brand, so maybe it's not perfectly calibrated. I'm not exactly sure about that. I haven't checked it against an on-name brand because I don't own a Snap-on or a Mac or whatever's out there. But the upside is the price tag, $170 versus $600 to $800 for a Snap-on. Or, you know, you could buy 4 of these by the time you get through breaking one of those, if the Snap-on would even break. I mean, I've done plenty of things with this one and it hasn't broke yet in the last year that I believe that we've had it, or close to a year. That's why we're doing this review, is it's an update. But this time we're keeping it clean. We're going to keep it right side up for you guys who weren't enjoying that part. Not trying to rag on anybody. It's fine. I understand. I appreciate the ones of you who commented politely about, you know, that situation, and then to the ones who, you know, called the information useless. Well, there you go. Now you have some useful information, since you know, you seem to not know how to turn your phone around to look at something right side up, or cock your head or whatever. I'm just not a video person. I'm not somebody who takes pictures all the time or does videoing, so you know, I use my phone, and this is what you get, is what you see. You seen there, it just turned itself off. And then when we turn it back on, it's right back to where we set it. And then we can set this. I'm usually stay around about 40, 44, somewhere in here. Because like I said, I'm using this for you know, 41 is actually a good spot. I find a lot of stuff I'm doing 41 at. See, you save it, torch saved, power down. I mean, it's just like any other digital torque wrench. Comes with a nice hard case here, you know, to protect it when you're not using it, because they're not, you know, cheap. Even 170 bucks to me is not a cheap buy. It's not like I have sponsors or I get free things from anybody for reviews. I do all this on my own with my wife. We spend all our own money for products. I'm going to turn you sideways so you guys can see this thing in its case. I don't want to throw you off there cocking sideways, but try and get a better view. Totally protected. I took out the paperwork, and that's it. As far as that goes, just to give you an idea. And then as you can see over here, we got some more DA sandpaper, some sand, blasting sand that we've had. We have another bag over there on the floor. And we're going to get this trailer finished out. I believe the last video we showed you guys that we got the lighting in. You can see here we redid the body filler to fill in some of the holes and the lows. And right here we're still sanding, so I had to get some more paper. I ran out. Obviously we had, I slammed my finger in my truck door, and I had a hiatal hernia operation, caught pneumonia. That's 3 things while I was healing. And then I had to have a tooth ripped out because I broke a tooth just 2 days ago. So in 1 month's time, I've dealt with all those 4 things, and I'm still hustling hard. Still getting stuff done. Don't let them tell you that you can't do things. And I'm going to show you guys a good example here. Let's drag this tailgate over. I had to take it off of the sawhorses over there because the truck we painted had a lot of orange peel on the cab section. So we already had it back. We didn't do a video on it. I'm sorry about that, but we flow coated the cab. Turned out really awesome using the Black Widow, and we even used the touch-up gun because we had some burn-throughs that looked like this on it, where the clear coat was too thin, so when we were wet sanding with the 600 to flow coat, it had the paint off with it, so we had to use the touch-up gun and hit it and blend it in, which with those 0.8 tips, it's really easy with that atomization to burn in. But this right here is what I'm talking about. So you can see here, I started sanding this body filler. And then when I was sanding, this edge cut back, and I ended up getting a big old chunk here that's took out. It's like a little low. So what I'll do is, you can see there's some here coming. I'm going to keep sanding this back because the part I was actually repairing was in here, like this, along this edge, not down in here. And so what I'll do is I'll sand this back, sand it back, and hopefully get that out. If I don't, or I didn't want to do that because my damage was down further, what I could do is I could refill this with new filler. And what I would do is make a smaller batch. I would whip it out really thin. I suppose a good trick would be you could even add a little fiberglass resin into your body filler, because it's basically kind of the same thing. It requires a hardener, and you could probably put a dab of that in there and thin it out. I haven't tried that theory yet. I'm gonna actually try that one day, because they sell us stuff called liquid honey you can mix into your body filler. And what it'll do is it'll thin it down really, really thin so you can work it and make it feather better. But if you just whip your body filler on a board really good for a couple minutes, it will actually, the friction, scientifically, the friction will make the material thin down from heat of, you know, whipping it with your Bondo knife. And then you get it thinned down, and before it starts to set, you get it on there and you can actually work it really decent. We put this on hold because the truck came back in, you know, and we promised that we would flow coat it and get it right. So that way when it comes back for cut and buff, it's not a huge process of cut and buffing it. We're going to get back on this trailer. I believe here in this afternoon for a minute, I will be sanding this, you know, you can see where I have like the little patches here. The edges are a little not feathered out there, so we're gonna work on feathering these edges. And then we're gonna be working on like some of these other spots that we're already starting to get smooth, but up in here they're not. We're gonna sandblast up under this rail. We're gonna be sandblasting. I don't recommend that you sandblast every flat surface, but like you're hard to get spots up under rails. For instance, around these handles. If you do some light sandblasting, I suggest you use this guy so you can have better control. It's a Harbor Freight central pneumatic gun. A lot of guys, they get in here and they drill this out so it has more flow. I didn't have to. This one works just fine. This controls how much sand comes out, which is nice, because right in the middle of sandblasting, you can kind of micro manage the abrasive, which helps with not warping your panels when you're trying to get in here and just do some little hard to get stuff, like up under these rails and around these handles and stuff. That's why we got out the sandblaster. We don't sandblast flat surfaces though of panels, because you will get warpage if you're not careful. And the best thing to do there would be to actually chemically strip it and then come back with a sandpaper and then get in there by hand. That's what I would recommend. We have a little filler here because this had some dents. It came out smooth, and then when we get here, it kind of dips off like at a slope here. So we got a little dent spot right here. You can feel that needs filled. But that's just our little video today. We're kind of making up for the upside down deal on the torque wrench. But this is actually around that time when I said we're going to do yearly reviews of how products hold up. And, you know, get back to you guys on the durability of products and what we've done with them, how they've lasted, all that good stuff. We still haven't gotten the bend out of the bumper piece. Still haven't gotten the electric ran. We're still running off a cord going out the window to the house to the dryer. Big old 120-foot extension cord for the compressor, all that good stuff. We did run our air hose up and over to our other water trap. So we trap it here, we trap it at the end of this 50-foot run, and then we trap it again at the other end of the 50-foot run at the gun with the air, and that's been working perfect, guys. Let me tell you, I get a lot of moisture in my canisters, like my water traps, like the one over here, and we get, you know, very minimal here. But every now and then what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll hit the button and I'll bleed it off here, and between spraying, get most of the fluids out of here. And then I'll do it at the gun too, because if you look on my guns, these type of water traps, you have a button on the back side here where I'm pushing, and you can bleed these off as well. Now what I don't recommend is don't use acetone to clean off your gauges that are cheap and this, because it's plastic and it actually makes it dingy. That's something I do not recommend doing. As you can see, we already have the mask reset up. We were doing the flow coating. We kind of reorganized some of the paint cabinet. I believe we showed you how we got the dent puller down here onto this desk piece, and we have we keep all our tapes and stuff in here now. As we go, we're getting a little more organized. This tape here, guys, I actually recommend this tape. This is really good tape. Scotch exterior surface. It's a waterproof tape. It's plastic. It peels off without, ripping too much. But it's not for delicate surface, so do not put this on fresh paint. Do not, if you're going to do a two-tone car, let your first color dry really good. Maybe come back through, wet sand it before you tape it, so that way it's not pulling off your paint. Stuff like that. We got to clean up all our fasteners and things. We've been doing some tile work and stuff in the house. This is some leftover stuff that isn't left over. It's actually accounted for because over there, we'll show you. Over there we have a toilet. There's actually going to be in the shop, we have where we marked on the studs where we're going to bring a wall out and over and build a bathroom back here. So lots of stuff just laying around. I got to clean up today too. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. When we flow coated, we actually tested the air filter, and that turned out really good, guys. This Weber fan, ducking, and filter I made filtered out majority of all the overspray. I almost think I could upgrade to one more Weber fan and then put a plenum that forks off, and then pump 2 air fans going through this filter, and it would be dead on, spot on, perfect for evacuating all the overspray from settling on the car and getting that rough texture, because that's kind of part of what our problem was. Is I tried not to use this the first time, but when I used it the second time for flow coat, that setup worked perfect with the fan blowing across the truck, pushing the overspray to the exhaust fan, and then that taking it out. Took it out. We got very, very, very low overspray that time. And as you can see here, I believe we bought there's the fan, and I believe it was did we get the 14 or the 12 inch? Here's the one we got. It's the 12 inch. So we're running the 12 inch. They do sell a 14. I just settled for 2 inches less because of price. There was a huge difference. But I'd rather buy 2 of these. I would honestly suggest you buy 2 of these. Put one on each side of the vehicle in the back. Spray from front to back. And have that fan pushing it back there. And you'll have no problem. The filter part worked perfect. Even with the blue matte stuff, because it didn't gum up right away, and I kept checking it, and it had good airflow. It worked good, guys. I mean, I was actually astonished because I haven't tried that. Like I said, when I was a kid, we used to just hook up a shop vac and have it sucking everything out and through the shop vac, and we would paint little Toyotas and Hondas and stuff in the front yard. I wouldn't paint them. I'd prep them. Part of my language, but my a-hole stepdad, thank goodness I take everything positive from everything that I can, but this would probably be the only negative thing. I might say a couple negative things, but he taught me a lot. But he used the shop vac theory. He sprayed them like that. He did, gloss black, and it would come out perfect. No flow coating, nothing. He just built a tarp paint booth with PVC around his vehicle, box it off, tape it off with some duct tape. He cut a hole, put this hose in that hole, tape it off, start sucking air through it, and then he'd cut a couple little vent holes up high on the other side of the booth to bring air through the booth too. But he didn't use a fan, he didn't use a big filter, he didn't use none of this, and he accomplished high-end paint jobs. And so what my goal was, you guys, is I wanted to give you guys something better. I wanted to give you guys a decent booth setup that came off a design when I was growing up, but I wanted to upgrade it so you guys could be more successful from the gate, because you can build a cheaper booth, you can get away with a lot less, but I don't recommend you struggling and fighting all that. I'm here to help you guys understand that you don't have to spend 60 grand on the fanciest paint booth, but you also don't want to spend just a couple $100. I'm in probably $1,200 on doing the paint booth. You know, it helps because, you know, that $1,000-$1,200 will come back to you guys. You know, you get a few cars and you'll get it back, and you'll get it back quick if you learn your stuff and you get it down. I already have another vehicle that needs some blend panel stuff done. As far as it needs, you know, like there's a massive scratch on the back of it. It's on a 2000 Ford Expedition with a 7.4 liter lifted. It's got all the bells and whistles, and it's a big rig. It's for a buddy of mine. So we're going to do some blending, and his fender flare pieces are starting to come off because the adhesive tape, it melts out here where we're at because we get extremely hot heat. He drove or flew out to Pennsylvania, and he drove it all the way back to California. Very expensive rig, really loves his rig, so he wants it fixed up. It's what we call our forever rigs. Out here, when you get your forever rig, when you're a truck guy, you fix it, you keep it, you don't ever get rid of it. When you find the one that you really like, as in I like my 99 3500 Chevy, because it has everything I need and doesn't have all the annoying electronic stuff in it that I don't need. We will get back to you guys with this trailer once we paint it. We may even do a spraying video. I'm just a little nervous about putting my brand new phone into a cloud of overspray unless I can, like I said, use the exhaust fan and manage it. I'll look into possibly doing that with this, because this trailer won't take a whole lot of spraying to do either. And maybe if we put the camera back further, we can get that done. You know, other than that, guys, I really wasn't going to show you who I am, what I'm about, because I just don't need people on here where I'm at recognize my face, not because of the law, because I'm not in any trouble with the law or nothing, but you know, when you have people out there who are hating on you, sometimes if they're locals and they know who you are, they may come around. Maybe you had problems in the past with them, whatever, and the more you give them to fuel their anger with these people, the more it'll come out. You know, the more they see you doing good, they'll just get more pissed, and they'll just keep on doing stuff like that. You know, it's just crazy how much people hate people nowadays and what they're trying to accomplish, whether it be good or bad stuff. It's just, I've never seen so many people up in people's business in my life. When I grew up, you minded your own damn business. You didn't talk to your neighbors much unless you had to. You know, I grew up listening to neighbors argue, fight, yell all night long, and when they're drunk, and it's their business. I don't get into it unless I hear something that's extremely bad, and even then, it's still a hard thing for me to do because of the way I was brought up. I don't try and say a whole lot to folks unless it's positive anymore, because I hate wasting my breath with negativity. There's just too much of it anymore, you guys. If you watch the end of my videos, you'll come to find out. I'm not trying to be the wise man. I'm just passing on knowledge that was given to me. And what I mean by that is general life knowledge of things to think about, ways to train your mind to not get frustrated with all the negative stuff in life. So, that's the gig, guys. I wish everyone the best. There's another video on Torque Wrench on what's to come, what's been going on, why we haven't posted. Like we said, we were going to be down for a little bit. But we're right back up, on a 6 to 12 week heel. I'm only 2 weeks in, and I've already been working a week. And I don't listen too well. So anyhow, my doctor says I'm crazy, just in case you guys are wondering if I am, because he says he doesn't know anybody that does the kind of stuff I do after an operation. But that's life, guys. You can't always let people tell you what your limits are. They could be different than some people. Anywho, so down with the haters, up with the participators. Peace and prosperity to all. Like we always tell you, keep your hustle going. Enjoy life. Don't let these people tell you you can't do it. We've put all this together in 2 years' time. And it all started just because my truck broke down and I got sick of shops. Out here, at least in California, they charge you so much money, guys. Just so much money. When you can just take a little time, do your own stuff, save thousands of dollars that can go into better things, like flipping your house with like buying the materials you need. Things like that. It's just one of those things. Oh, another good thing, right before we go, these lights I bought, I got them on Amazon. I'm going to show you if I can get it to light up. We're going to try and show you this. So AA motor made in Thailand. Okay, these came with bulbs in them, though, which shocked me because I thought I was going to have to buy all my own bulbs. But these come 100% ready to plug and just go. If you have an old Toyota and you're looking for a set, they're actually really decent. I already fixed that issue where the plastic was lifting off the one. It wasn't set in right. But other than that, these things came out really, really good for an aftermarket light. I'm kind of shocked, and I'm happy with it, so it's a good replacement. We paid about $50-$60 for the set, and as you can see, once we get there, we're doing all this electric. We're putting new lighting in the paint booth to get better clear coat results, because then we'll be able to see better, and everything will just keep pushing, guys. Anyhow, we made this video 3 times as long. We're going to eventually get our scrap pile out of here again once we get as much metal welded to things as we can. And more lighting in the shop. We're going to keep doing all that stuff. We're just pushing, guys. And in this world, if you don't stop, you can only succeed. You can never fail until you just quit. And you quit on yourself. There's never a time that's going to be easy in life, but it'll never get better if you just quit. I will tell you that, because there has been moments in my life where I just stopped working, gave up, didn't care. But let me tell you, once I started caring again, everything got better again. It all came together. I ended up with a wife that loves me to death. I love her to death. I have beautiful kids. I have 3 different businesses I'm doing. I do tile still. I don't do all the construction I was, but I'm doing the tile work for some people still. Very few, because I get to pick and choose, luckily, who I work for. And then, like with my tattooing, I get to do whatever kind of tattoos I want because, you know, people like my work. If I don't want to do something, I just don't do it. I turn it down, make them go somewhere else. And I get to do all my own automotive projects now, which is going to become slowly the main source of income, you know, besides obviously the tattooing, which has been going on for a long time. I know you keep seeing the mower in the middle of healing. I tried to mow my yard and it broke. I tore it down 4 different times, cleaned out the carburetor, cleaned out the gas tank. One day I might show you guys a video on that in case you have a mower giving you troubles. Most of the time it's your carburetor. I did that. Obviously, you can see I had the chainsaw out. I'm sharpening the chain because it dulled. And I got a bunch of stuff that I have to buck up. But it broke, and it's still under warranty. I cleaned it. It's still acting up, so it's going into the shop. I would keep working on it, but at this point, I don't really have the time. I've only had it 2 years, only used it 6 times, and it's just acting up completely. This is a brand new $400 mower from Home Depot. This thing is a beast. Has all the bells and whistles, all the options, and the only problem is it decided to quit. And I think it's still a fuel issue because it's just revving up and down going wow, wow, wow. So I think it's still a carburetor fuel issue because it runs, it keeps spark, it just doesn't feed the fuel consistent and clean enough. I may break it down one more time before I take it in and try it again, but it's just after 4 times I'm getting there. Big Red, you know, Creeper, awesome buy. Over time, these bolts here for the wheels came loose, but once I retightened them, they stayed good. That's a great review, you know, turned out good. The box, everything turned out good. Yes, you guys can see here, I don't care. I live in California. Not trying to promote things like that, but if you see it, it's there. I'm not going to deny it. Don't give a shit. That's why we don't make kids for videos. We always say it's not for kids because we curse in there a little and do what we do. All right, guys. You know, keep it up. Keep your head up. Like I said, to all my participators, keep going up. Never look back and go down. Because once you start to get that damper on life, you become a hater. And it's not good. It's a disease in this country now that people just really love to be drama-filled. And then I'm going to also explain something else to you guys. I used the heater in the paint booth when it was cold. I didn't even use the ducking. I suggest that you do kind of keep your heater back unless you're shutting it off in between coats. But it worked out perfect just putting it in the booth. And between coats, we did that. Definitely, we should have held off just a hair because I think some of the roughness to the paint and clear coat was because of solvent pop, which is when you cure something too quick like paint, clear coat, and then it starts to bubble on the surface because the fumes are evacuating through, and then it leaves divots, holes, raises in it, makes it feel kind of gritty. So definitely don't recommend using the heater from the, like, paint your coats, throw them on there, and then take the heater, give it about 20-30 minutes, then put the heater in there and bake on your paint, because then it should do a lot better. And don't heat it up like I did, just let it run. Obviously we had snow and shit. We were painting in the paint booth out in the snow, so we had to keep it pretty warm. And we got it done. You know, we just fought that one, but the next one we shouldn't have to fight as much. It's summer now, and we probably won't be using the heater anymore. Because the other thing is when you use a booth like this out here, let's see if we can get you a better view. So when you guys have seen it, these tarps, when the sun hits them, The inside of this thing, when you zip it off, it gets hot, guys. It gets extremely hot. And you can see down there we had to tape because this tore away from the poles, so we just ran some duct tape around it real quick just to hold that from flapping out. Since we did clear coat last time, we didn't put down the big tarp. You can see here we spilled some of the red paint because we were using the touch-up gun. Something happened there where when I was dragging the trash bag over, it kind of, spilled. But anyways, I said I'd let you guys go almost 10-20 minutes ago, so I'm going to let you go. Have a good day.